All right, so we got cut off. I thought I was going to make it, y'all. I thought I was going to make it. But here I'm going to do the example for our blood types. I'm starting over. So like I said, this is me. I have type O blood, and this is my husband who has type AB blood. So when we went to have my son, we wanted to know what type of blood he was going to have. So my husband has both A and B alleles to give. So we got type A, and this A should be floating up high, but I can't do that real quick here. And then a little O allele from me. And this one, a big I, big B comes down, and a little I from me. And then down here, there we go, I have an I with a big A comes down, and I only have little O's to give. And then a big I with a B comes down, and I have a little I to give. Okay. So when we talk about my child, that there is only two blood types my child could be. He could be heterozygous A or heterozygous B. So if I came home from the hospital, I'm just going to type this up here. If I came home from the hospital with a child that had type AB blood, like my husband does, so here's my question. If he has type AB blood, let me make that a little smaller so it fits. Okay. So did I have loose morals and cheat on my husband, or did I get the wrong baby? Well, based on this, my husband and I obviously could not have this child, but could this child be my child? Well, if I have type O blood, my child would have to get a little O allele from me, which means it's impossible for this to be my child. Now, if I came home with a child that had type O blood, well, that could be my child, but it could not be my husband's child. And so either I got the wrong child, because there are a lot of people out there with type O blood or hybrid blood, or I had loose morals and cheated on my husband. All right, so lots of things could happen, and they used to use blood type to determine paternity. They still use it to rule out who the father is. So they can't do it to prove who the father is. So like my son happens to have type A blood. So my child, which usually know who the mother is, right? So you have the type O from me, and this A we assume came from my husband, but could have it come from someone else? Sure, there's lots of people out there with A alleles that it could have come from. So it doesn't prove that my husband is the father, but it could disprove it. Like if my husband had type O blood like me, then it would prove that there's no way that could be his kid between the two of us, and he would be not the father. So a lot of times on places like the Maury Show where they're going to do DNA evidence, you don't want to necessarily pay for all the DNA evidence right away. You can do a cheap little blood type test, costs about maybe $30. And run that and determine who could possibly be the father and who wouldn't. And you can rule some out right away and then do the DNA tests on the leftovers. So what a blood test would look like this. So they use these serums, these antigen serums. And if that antigen is there, the blood clots up. That's called coagulating, all right? So if you have type AB blood, they both kind of coagulate up there, and so what you see is positives for both the A and the B antigen. If you have type B blood, it only clumps up for type B. If you have type A, it clumps up for A, and if you're type O, you have no antigens, so neither one of those clump up. So I hope that was worth the extra 4 minutes of video y'all got. Good luck. Bye.